a melody which has always been Greek to me.
WSUC, Cortland.
Sit back, snuggle.
Don't forget.
Crank it up.
Crank it up.
The musical stylings of 90.5.
The Dragon.
Hey, Central New Yorkers, you're listening to WSUC 90.5 FM, The Dragon. It is 8:19, and we are in the studio with Josh Riley of the Cortland football team. Josh, first of all, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Cortaca this Saturday. How excited are you?
Couldn't be more excited. I mean, this season as a whole hasn't gone exactly how we wanted to, with a couple bumps and bruises, but, Cortaca win could really solve all that, so I know the whole team's really looking forward to it.
So you guys coming off a win versus Morrisville, 45-20. Talk about the momentum of that win into the bye week and then now into the Cortaca weekend, coming off a win.
Yeah, definitely huge. Coming off a win, and then I think the bye's even bigger. Bye right before the Cortaca week, everyone get healthy, and you kind of just go from there. Another week to game plan and everything. So I think it's really going to bode us well.
So, just talking about the team from this season, 4-5 now. This is reminiscent of the 2014 year where you guys are trying to just get back to 500. During that year, obviously, you did in the Miracle of 2014. We'll come back to that one. But how does this feel similar to that year, and how important is it for you guys to get back to that 500 despite the struggles that you've had throughout the year?
Yeah, just looking back to that 2014 year, like I said, everything can kind of, no matter what happens in the season, you win the Cortaca Jug game, and the season definitely feels a little bit better afterwards. And like you said, in 2014, once again, we were 4-5, and then this year being 4-5, I know the miracle, as you said, the miracle of 2014. Nothing will, I don't think anything will ever beat that. But a win this week, being 5-5 again, will definitely be a nice way to end it for sure.
So let's talk about that 2014 then. You were on the field for that play.
I was on the field, and then, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't me who caught the ball. It was John Mannix himself. And it's funny thing is, not many people know this, but the play, I was the right wing, and John was the left wing, and the play was actually supposed to go to me off to the right. So Luke hit in the holder. It was a bad snap. He made what we call a fire call when it's a bad snap, and he got the ball, and he looks over me to the right, and I'm looking at him, and I wasn't open. And so thankfully he made a play, rolled back out to the left, and I remember looking and standing there. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's open. He's going to throw him the ball, and throws him the ball. We win, and I still can't even put into words how that felt. I think that was the first time ever in my life I had to actually stop celebrating because I physically couldn't breathe. It was a really awesome feeling.
I just can't even imagine the emotions going from such a it almost is heartbreak, because if that play gets broken up and he gets tackled, there's no overtime. You lose the game, and then it goes to the ultimate high of winning the game on that play. So I just can't even imagine what the emotions were right after that play.
Exactly. Because we earlier in that season, we had some heartbreak losses on the last play of the game. We had a play very similar where we got a snap off, and it was a little bobbled snap, and it got tackled, and we lost the game. That field goal would have sent us to overtime, and literally the same situation. But luck was on our side, I guess you could say, that play.
How often do you watch the replay?
This week I've already watched it twice. Throughout the year when I'm missing football, at least once a month, I'd say.
So you guys have gone through a number of different quarterbacks this year. Obviously, you lose Ferrara in game number 3 of the year, and then it's kind of a myriad of quarterbacks going back and forth. Now it's Brett Segala, and is that the game plan for this weekend, to go with Brett?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as of now, we've been kind of trying a bunch of different people out. I mean, we have, obviously, Brett Segala, who played awesome against Morrisville, and then Kyle Schneider, unfortunately, got hurt against Brockport, but he's feeling better again. So, you can't forget about D'Angelo Walker either. He's back. Awesome athletic ability, too. So, I think we'll be changing up a little bit. It might be to see a little bit of everyone.
So this season, you're near the top in receptions on Cortland, 22 receptions for 258 yards and a touchdown. How does the different quarterbacks that you've seen, obviously 5 different quarterbacks this year, how does that go into the game plan, and how does that affect game to game, moving with different quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's never easy, but you kind of just got to roll with the punches. I mean, I know me personally, I try to build a relationship with the quarterback on a more personal level too. If the quarterback feels comfortable with you on a personal level, I believe that leads onto the field. So no matter who's there under center, you try to get to know him a little bit, make him feel comfortable with the offense, let him know, hey, we all believe in you, and you're the guy for us, and just let him know that he can really perform, and that's what we try to do no matter who's under center for us.
Do you have a certain pregame ritual you go through every game, maybe especially one for a Cortaca, which is such a big event?
I mean, I don't really do. I don't think anything out of the ordinary. I mean, I like to get there early, just to get with the trainers, just get a little extra work in, just to make sure my body's feeling right. And then I always go out in the field. I have some just little stuff I like to do, just to do some catching drills before we all suit up and stuff like that, and just to really I like to get myself really mentally ready. And obviously, Cortaca, you try to keep yourself as level-headed as you can, because you try to tell yourself it's just another game. But obviously, it's a little difficult when you know how many people are going to be there and what is at stake. But like I said, you got to treat it like any other game. You can't act like it's too big, and you kind of you go from there.
So you kind of touched on this, but I'm just curious, does the preparation from a team standpoint change at all for the Cortaca game? Obviously, this is going to be your fourth Cortaca game, so you have the experience. Now you're the older guy on the team. Does the team preparation change, or is it just every other game mentality?
It changes a little bit in the sense that we make sure everyone knows that, hey, it's going to be loud. People are going to be wild. It's going to be chippy. Obviously the great rivalry and stuff like that. So we try to keep everyone aware of that. But coming from a game plan point of view, I think everything kind of stays the same. They're just another faceless opponent that we're just trying to beat, and just knowing we got to go out there and just play the best that we can.
So obviously last year had playoff implications on the line. If you guys won, you had won the number 1 seed in the Empire 8 and the automatic bid into the tournament. Does that kind of game have more of a special atmosphere to it because it's playoff atmosphere, or does every Cortaca game have its own special kind of aura?
Yeah, I'd say definitely every Cortaca game has its own special little aura, because in my first year in 2013, I went in as a freshman and was lucky enough to be getting playing time as a freshman. And I remember just being so excited that I was going to get on the field and everything, and so that was exciting itself. And then 2014, that play, and then last year with it, like you said, having playoff implications, and there was really high stakes. If we won, we're going to the playoffs, and we ended up having a little run the playoffs there. So this year, it's going to be a little different too. We're not necessarily playing for. We could be playing for a postseason bid just for a bowl game, but not necessarily into the NCAA playoffs. So I think it's going to have a little twist there, and also it could potentially be in my last game I ever play, and the rest of the seniors. So it's going to be a little different feeling for sure.
Looking back on the other 3 Cortaca games that you've played in, do you have one that sticks out, or maybe one moment from, obviously 2014 kind of is going to be the drawing point to that, but is there one memory that you have?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know, probably the favorite part afterwards every time is just celebrating with your team. I mean, I get it's cliche, but that's why you play the game. You play for the love of your teammates and the love of everyone around you, and you really just love to soak it all in. I mean, in 2013 after John Babin's touchdown, I remember celebrating with him in the end zone, and I remember celebrating on the 2014 after Manic scored his touchdown, and celebrating as a team after Steve took his knee last year. Just celebrating to know that we're working for a bigger goal than ourselves. And it's a big deal to win. It's not easy winning football games, no matter what kind of game it is.
And especially 6 straight for Cortland, but 3 straight for you. Incredible that you've been on the run that you've been on, and now have the opportunity to close out and be perfect in Cortaca Jug games. Yeah,
I'd love to say that I never lost to a Bomber. I mean, I know a couple people before me have been able to say that, and I'd love to be part of that crew for sure.
And then the Pine Plains Bombers, too, a little bit. You played for Spack High School. I played for Pine Plains Bombers.
Oh, yeah.
You might be a little right on that one, too. You guys whipped up on us a little bit. So what is something that the average fan doesn't know about the Cortaca Jug that you might be able to shine some light on?
I mean, obviously we get a lot of publicity. I mean, it's a big game throughout the community and stuff like that, but I don't think I think it's obvious how much that we care, but I think people don't know to the extent how much we really, even the preparation that we get, how really excited we get. I mean, I know here at Cortland we have a lot of just traditions where we have a lot of alumni come in and talks to us and tell us about their Cortaca experiences and what Cortaca means to them, and have people fly in from everywhere to come see this game, no matter what. You have alumni, people who are best friends who played on this team together, come in, and they know maybe they only get to see each other once a year, but every year it's that Cortaca Jug where they can get together. It's more than just a football game for a lot of people, and that's really cool to be a part of.
One more question, and then we'll get into some fun questions where some people can get to know you a little bit more than the guy on the football field. So what is the biggest key, if you have to point to one thing, to Cortland coming away with a victory and you going to 4-0 in Cortaca games?
I mean, you could really simplify it down to blocking and tackling like any other game, but I think it's every Cortaca game has really come down to who wants it more, who's going to be willing to fight for the extra yard and really go for that gang tackle. It's going to be who really wants it more, I'm feeling.
All right, some fun questions. We've had some soccer players on, and they play a lot of FIFA. Do you guys play a lot of Madden as a football team?
Oh, yeah. Huge Madden guys. I just want to give a shout-out to Kyle Schneider, who is really rough against me this season. 8-2 on the year against him. But he might bounce back this week.
Are you the best Madden player on the football team?
I tell myself I am. I don't know if I actually am, but yes, I tell myself constantly that I am.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
Chijoke Ezenalimba, otherwise known as CJ Ezenalimba.
He's actually been on the show. A little fun
CJ,
fact.
I've never met a person that didn't like CJ, so CJ's a great guy.
Yeah, we've had him on last year. We'll have to get him on this year one more time. Pre-game music. What's playing in headphones?
I get this a lot. I know it's weird. I don't listen to music before games, and I like to just sit in silence and just kind of focus that way. A lot of people like to get all riled up, jump around. I like to just kind of sit there and focus in that sense.
I like that. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Soak it all in.
All right. During the game, water or Gatorade? What are you drinking?
Water. I don't know. I just want something that I know is going to exactly hydrate me. And if you drink too much Gatorade, it might upset your stomach. That might just me being weird. But no, I just drink the water.
If you had to pick a Gatorade, what color would you pick?
Red. Probably red.
I'm a Riptide Rush. Purple.
Perfect.
Yeah. Any superstitions throughout the game?
Every play. I mean, there's some plays where I'll be standing on the sideline when the defense is on the field, and the defense will let up a big play, and then I'll be like, okay, I can't watch, and I'll go without a quarter without watching the defense until they give up another big play, and then I'll start watching again. So sometimes my defensive friends will be like, you see that? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I really didn't see that.
All right, last question. If there was a top 10 plays made of your football career, what would be number one?
Oof. That's tough.
Maybe your favorite. Maybe not top 10 plays, but what was your favorite?
My favorite play, personally? That's tough. I mean, this past week I had I talked to Brett Segala, let him know that, hey man, I'm gonna be open every play. So let me just so try to find me, just try to give him some little comfort, And he threw me a pass over the middle, and I saw it late, and stuck on my hand and snagged it with one hand, and that one felt pretty good. So
I remember we were on the broadcast. Nolan and I were this week, and that was a great play.
Yeah, thank you.
We wish you the best of luck this weekend against Ithaca on Saturday at noon. So everyone either watch that game or come to the game from Stadium Red. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Josh, thanks so much for coming on the show, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
All right, you're listening to the Sports Word on WSUC 90.5 FM, The Dragon. We'll be right back, and we'll have Carson Lassiter of the Cortland football team on for the next Cortaca preview interview. Hello, Carson. Welcome to the Sports Word. Can you hear us?
How you doing?
Well, thanks. First of all, thanks for coming on.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So just want to get right into it. So Cortaca this weekend, 1 to 10, how excited are you?
About a 12. It's hard not to look past all the games in the upcoming, when you start the season out. But, Cortaca's always one that's in the back of your mind, and you're always thinking about it when you start getting closer and closer. And it feels like it's come up a lot faster than it has in previous years. But, just excited to go out there and play with my teammates again.
So last time out, you guys got a big win over Mooresfield to get to 4-5 on the year, and 45-20 was the differential in the score, and you guys dominated that game. How important was that win ahead of the bye week and ahead of coming into the preparation for Cortaca?
I think that just gives us a lot of momentum, especially coming into a bye week. A bye week, you tend to kind of lose, a little momentum and, kind of get a little bit of lax, in practices and things. But, with that win, kind of carried us strongly into the bye week, and we kind of elevated our place with the bye week and made sure we had good practices, solid lists, solid film sessions, and that win was big for us coming in and kind of just getting us back into the W column towards the end of the season. But I would say it was pretty big, giving us momentum coming into the bye week, and we've dominated the bye week, so now it's time to turn our attention towards Ithaca.
So with attention towards Ithaca, how much different is it because it's Ithaca and because it's the Cortaca Jug game when you guys are doing this preparation?
It's like, the typical coach saying is that, you take each team, the same week in and week out. But, that's really is the truth. We've prepared for Ithaca just as we prepared for any other team. Nothing has changed. We do see all the hype around campus, with the Cortaca Jug countdown clocks and such. But I would say, both the coaches and the team have done a great job of making sure that we treat this just as another opportunity to play on Saturday, and really just looking towards Ithaca just as another formidable opponent, and going into film, going to practice and list, just as any other team.
So this is your fourth Cortaca, obviously 3-0 in your first three. 6 overall in a row for Cortland. Is this one more special because it's your senior year than any other Cortaca game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is hands down going to be the most special just because it's, potentially the last game of my career. And, just get to be able to have the opportunity to play Ithaca at home, packed out stadium. This is going to be without a doubt, the most special Cortaca for me. But I was fortunate enough to play in Cortaca as a freshman, and that was a pretty special experience just because, that just the crowd and just the whole Cortaca atmosphere and that story tradition was just something special to be a part of as a young player. But, having the experience these past 3 or 4 years, it's definitely going to be special this upcoming Saturday, so I'm looking forward to it.
Looking back at your time with the Cortland program, but also specifically the 3 Cortaca Jug games that you've played in, what is your favorite memory and what's the biggest takeaway you'll have from this rivalry with Ithaca?
Sheesh. I mean, there's been so many great plays. I know my freshman year, the most, biggest memory I have from that game was when John Babbitt caught the catch in the last remaining seconds on that last drive to give us the go-ahead touchdown. Sophomore year when there was a bobbled snap and Luke Hayton threw the touchdown at home. I mean, I think that would have to be my favorite Cortaca memories when the bobbled snap and Luke Hayton threw the touchdown to John Mannix and with the expiring clock. That was,
right.
I mean, not even just Cortaca. I would just say any football play ever. That would have to be number one. So.
We were just talking about with Josh just before in the previous interview, but I've talked with Luke Hinton and John Mannix about this, and I've heard their side of the story. So I want to hear someone from not on the field. I just take me through the play, your perspective of what happened.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I remember I was further back in the sideline past the 50, and I was just watching with a couple of my defensive backs, and we were just looking out the field, and we noticed that there was a long snapper, and the kicker, Cronin, was Shane Cronin was had his hands up, was looking around, and it was just unbelievable. And we were like, this is it. This is how Cortaca is going to end. And we just saw Luke just sprinting out, buttoning his helmet, and just kind of in shambles running out to the field. That was just funny to watch. And we're just like, what is going to happen? And so unexpectedly, the ball was bobbled, and he just saw him get up and start running around. It was just like you were just in shock, he couldn't move, he didn't know what was going to happen. And being so far back, I was able to see the whole field. And when he threw that pass, before he even caught it, right as it left his hand, I saw that nobody was on John. And it was just, it's like speechless. I didn't know how to react. It was just like I stood frozen for a second. I don't think I've ever run so hard in my life down to the other end zone to meet up with everyone and celebrate. But it was just like I was just frozen when the whole play was going on. So it was unforgettable experience.
One of my favorite things is that Luke said when he rolled out to the left that he also had Ceresna open and Mannix. I just think it would be so funny the opportunity that he could have thrown to Ceresna and not Mannix and had won that game.
I would definitely trust the ball more in Mannix's hands. Definitely trust the ball more, Mannix. But no, I mean, I'm sure Jake would have hauled him to catch also. But I mean, just the way it worked out was just an unforgettable memory. So. Fortunate enough to be part of that experience, and still get one more opportunity this Saturday.
So you are now a senior member, obviously a senior at school here, but a senior member of the football team. What advice do you have for the younger guys that maybe haven't had a home Cortaca game, or guys that may be playing in their first Cortaca Jug game this year?
Sure. I mean, we definitely have a lot of guys that are going to be experiencing that Saturday, but I'll just say the atmosphere is going to be crazy. The on-field tension and gameplay is going to be crazy. But what I would say to them is just, as our coaches have been saying all week, it's just another game. It's just another opponent lining up, on the other side of the ball from you, and it's just another game. So just relax, stay calm and poised in the situation, and just go out there and play like you've been playing all season. So.
Hey, Carson, Stephen Somsky here. Do you have any specific pregame rituals you go through before this game on Saturday?
Pregame rituals. I mean, not too crazy. I mean, you usually do a couple of the same routine stretches. I sometimes put a T-shirt over my head and just listen to music, but nothing too superstitious or anything crazy. But yeah, I would say I just always get a good stretch and make my way into the trainer's room, but definitely just a routine stretch and nothing too superstitious though.
All right, what is something that the average fan might not know about the Cortaca Jug that you can lighten? Tough
That's
question.
A good one. Yeah, I mean, okay, I would say that the one thing that I would say is that maybe my freshman year, something cool that our team did when we play away over at Ithaca Stadium is that we always bring a bag of old Chuck, the old football stadium's grass. And we bring that over in a bag, and each senior, since it's their last opportunity playing, not being able to play at Cortland, they get the opportunity to put a patch of Cortland grass over at Ithaca's field, anywhere they want on the field, and that's kind of their way of having their home field advantage at Ithaca.
Yeah, see, that's something the average fan I didn't even know.
There it is.
It's very cool.
There it is, yes.
All right, so you lead the team with tackles this season with 80. You have 298 career tackles. How exciting is that for you that you potentially could eclipse this milestone against Ithaca at home in front of this many people?
Well, I mean, it's definitely been something I've had in the back of my mind, but nothing I've been too focused on. You know, I just, every play, I just try to give everything I have to my teammates and try to make as many tackles and stop the team as often as I can. But, I try not to focus on that. I try to just go out there, because then I don't want to start working too hard and focus on that goal where I start, missing assignments and start playing a different type of game.
Right.
But it is something that's been in the back of my mind and something that I've kind of seen but not paid too much attention to. So if I end up, surpassing that, then, it's going to be a great accomplishment. But if not, then, it is what it is, and hopefully we get the W. So.
Now, you have it a little easier because you only have to keep 2 in your head. Mannix, he had to keep 7, and his coaches were telling him that he needed 3 more. He told me the story that his coaches were lying to him, saying he needed more. So you got a little easier in your head. You only need 2, but we'll keep an eye out for that on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Now, on defense, you have played a little safety this year, and you've played a little listed as a linebacker. Can you explain that position to me? Leighton plays it a little bit, and you play it. That fourth linebacker in the defense, and you kind of float a little bit, play a little bit of safety, play a little linebacker. Can you explain that?
Sure. So I'm at Rover, so pretty much I can play safety. I can come down in the box. I can be inside linebacker, outside linebacker, and kind of we really at the beginning of the season they put me in that position just because they really wanted to utilize my versatility a little bit. I would like to think that I can handle myself in the box, and like to think that I'm finessed enough to be back in zone coverage. But more towards the end of the season, I have found myself to be more down in the curl area of the field, down in the short passing yardage, but mostly for run support. I think mostly just because that's where my skills have gravitated over the years of playing here. Starting out as a freshman at cornerback, I was more of a finesse, a lighter player, and gradually gotten heavier, put on a lot more muscle, not necessarily slowed down, but have become more aggressive in the run game. And I feel as if, the coaches are really trying to play towards that aggression in the run game and putting it down. So that's where benefit the team most, is being able to favor the run, but still be able to pass protect back in the zone. So. Right.
It definitely is an interesting spot, and they call it Rover, but you see sometimes it's listed as a linebacker, sometimes as a safety. So that was a great explanation.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind the linebacker tag. Makes it a really tough guy. Sometimes the defensive backs get listed as soft guys who can't hit, so I definitely don't mind the linebacker tag every now and then.
Does coach give you the ability to maybe kind of before the snap, if you see something that you don't like audible, maybe if you think you guys are in a bad spot?
It's not, that wouldn't necessarily be just, for me. Our defense is kind of based around the offense, kind of reacting to the offense. So if the offense motions, whether it be like one step off the line or across the field, our whole defensive scheme could be shifted or changed in some sort of fashion. So it's not necessarily just me that would be audibling. It'd be the safeties, the linebackers who are making the audible to adjust to what the offense is doing. So the slightest motion could completely audible and shift the play.
So your twin brother Leighton also plays on the team, and I just got to say that you guys might be the most identical twins that I've ever seen. But how special has it?
We're actually...
Go ahead.
We're actually fraternal twins,
really?
Not identical. Yeah, that's usually the answer we get is people say we're really identical, but we're actually fraternal. 4 hours apart, too.
That's unreal. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, I would not have guessed that at all.
Yeah.
So talk about how special it has been to spend these years and these moments with your brother. Sure.
I mean, we started playing football together, I think, 7 years old, so just 14, 15 plus years that we've been playing together. It's been, it's definitely been a life-changing experience, I would say, just being able to share these moments with not just, a friend, but, to have a brother, to be able to come up all these years playing football together, being on the same field and kind of having, that trust in another player that exactly what he's going to do just because, we're constantly together, constantly training together and working out together, and we just have that chemistry on the field that we know, where we're going to be. And that was the same way through high school. We both played offense, and it was to our benefit, just to know that where he was at all times, kind of knowing where he was, having that chemistry. But coming into college, we started off playing different sides of the ball, and we'd always go head-to-head and compete, and every day in, day out, coach and nature, we were competing against each other. But he left the program last year, decided to come back and really give it his all this last season. And he was on defense this year, so obviously, playing side by side with me, It's been a great experience just because we'd always been on opposite sides in college and so long ago playing in high school at the same side. It's good to get him back in our last senior game together, be able to play side by side on defense. So that's a pretty special experience, and of all games, Cortaca, to be able to share that with him is pretty special. So,
is there a particular player on Ithaca's offense that you guys have really made a point of emphasis to try to stop?
I wouldn't say any particular emphasis on any individual player, but we know that they like to motion their tight ends and trade their tight ends to different sides, and their offense is predicated towards running at the tight ends. So we're playing off tendencies, and we're really just focusing on doing our job, doing our assignment every play, and making sure that we adjust appropriately to their formations and motions. And it's pretty much just do our job, do our assignment, and make sure we make all right checks and go out there and give it our all. So.
All right, I got one more serious question, and then we can get into some fun ones so people can get to know you.
Sure.
The biggest key to Cortland coming away with a victory in your fourth Cortaca Jug game?
The biggest key, I would say two, is obviously offense has to go out there and light up the scoreboard. Offense just has to, make big plays, explosion plays, and get in the end zone. And two, obviously defense has to come out and play lights out football and make sure that we shut down their play action passes and shut down their run game. So,
Josh Riley just proclaimed himself as the best Madden player on the football team. Do you want to dispute that?
To be quite honest, I am horrible at video games, and I don't play them quite often. But I would say that there's a couple kids that I live with who are on the team, Matt Goodman, long snapper, and linebacker, who would probably proclaim himself the best. Kyle Schneider, who plays quarterback, I live with him also. He would probably say that he's the best Madden player. So really, it's up in the air, and I don't know. Also can't forget about linebacker Brian Providence. He says that he's the best, but I heard he's not too good. So I'm maybe put it up to Josh versus maybe Matt Goodman or Kyle Schneider. But I'm personally not huge into playing video games, but when I get the opportunity, I usually get blown out by somebody. So.
What pregame music are you going to listen to this Saturday? What's going to be playing in the headphones?
Definitely going to be bumping some Future. Definitely going to have... I usually go back and forth more towards the beginning of pregame. I'm more of a hard beat kind of hip-hop rap guy, and as we get closer and closer to kickoff, I really get the juice flowing, the blood flowing with some house music, get those big beats coming. So it goes between some Future-type rap to... maybe a little Uzi Vert to some house music. So.
All right. Who's the funniest guy on the team?
Funniest guy? Either Brian Providence or CJ as in a limbo. They're two little clowns on the team. I love cracking jokes, love making people laugh. But definitely Brian Providence and CJ as in a limbo.
We've heard CJ from every football player we've interviewed so
far. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So absolutely, definitely no denying that one.
Character. Yeah.
During the game, you drinking water or Gatorade?
Oh, that's a good question. I like to stick to water, but when I feel myself kind of getting weaker, kind of getting drawn out a little bit, I'll get some electrolytes in me with Gatorade. But I go back and forth.
What flavor Gatorade do they have on the sideline?
It's also a good question. I would say, I think it's yellow Gatorade.
Oh, that's terrible. I feel bad for you.
I'm a big purple guy.
Wait, this is important. The dark purple or the light purple, though?
Either or.
The Riptide Rush is definitely the best Gatorade they make.
Yeah, I will have to respectfully disagree.
Okay, last question. If they made a top 10 plays of your football career, what would be number one?
Top 10 play personally?
Yeah.
Pick six Buffalo State last season would be my number one play of my career here.
All right, Stephen, you got anything else?
Good luck Saturday.
Yeah, Carson, thanks so much for coming on the show. We appreciate you coming on, and best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, so take care.
And that was Carson Lassiter of the Cortland football team. 2 out of 3 of the Cortland football players that we have on an interview ahead of the Cortaca Jug this weekend on Saturday. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Cortland defensive lineman Joe Sarno for his Cortaca preview. You're listening to the Sports Word on WSUC 90.5 FM The Dragon. Joe, can you hear us?
Hey, how's it going? Yep.
How you doing? Welcome to the Sports Word.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Thanks for coming on the show. How excited, scale of 1 to 10, are you for Cortaca this weekend?
I think it goes way above 10, definitely around 12.
That's what Carson Lassiter said, 12 too.
Did he?
Yeah, we just had him on, and we had Josh Riley on before him to talk about the Cortaca Jug, so we'll get right into it. You guys coming off a win versus Morrisville, 45-20, to get your record back to 4-5. How important is that win coming into the bye week, and then, of course, this matchup versus Ithaca this weekend?
Oh, definitely. It definitely gives us a big momentum swing. You know, hasn't been the year we all dreamed of, hasn't been the year we all wanted, but coming off a big win against Morrisville State, who's beaten us the past 2 years now, really big win, and gives us momentum going forward with Ithaca.
So we've asked both the players the same thing, and they both say that it's just every other game. But is Cortaca every other game, and does the preparation change for that game?
Well, preparation never changes, Rob. That's definitely not the case. But it's not. I'd be stupid to say if it's just another game. It's not. It's Cortaca. It's a big game for us. It is as a possibility of being our seniors' last guaranteed game, and it's not like every other game. It's the game in front of us, and that's what matters most. The game that's in front of us. And we have to get this win in order to salvage our season.
How different is the game at home compared to the game on the road at Ithaca?
Oh, well, it's definitely great having you guys, having all our fans out of the game supporting us, as opposed to being in a hostile environment like Ithaca. But I'm really excited. I know a lot of the seniors are. We're super excited about our last Cortaca game is going to be at home.
Because this is your last Cortaca game, is it any more special than every other because it's at home? It's your last one?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I see it as I see what Carson and Josh were saying. It isn't just another game, but it's more important to me that it's another opportunity to play with the guys. And, you know, the guys have just made it through such a tough year, and all the adversity we've been through. It's more of an opportunity to play with them as opposed to a Cortaca game.
Over your time through these games, through the Cortaca Jug games, what has been your favorite memory that you'll take away?
Favorite memory? I think it's the same thing every year. You know, just looking up after the national anthem, just seeing all our fans, everybody, all your loved ones, just looking at you, so excited and everything. It's that butterfly feeling right before every game, and that's something that I don't think any of us will ever be able to forget.
What advice do you have for younger guys that it might be their first Cortaca Jug game overall, or maybe their first game at home for the Cortaca Jug?
I guess just drink it all in. You know, just let it all soak in. You're gonna have more of these to come. You're going to understand it a lot more once you're a senior, how important it is and how much it means to you, especially as it comes to the end of your career. So my advice is definitely just soak it all in.
Hey, Joe, Stephen Somsky here. Do you have a specific pregame ritual you go through before the game on Saturday?
Pregame ritual. I don't know about a pregame ritual. I mean, I do it just like everybody else. Sit in the locker room, get my mind right, listen to some music. Before the game, I say a little prayer to myself, and I say a prayer with the team, and just go out there and get ready to play ball.
What is something that the average fan doesn't know about the Cortaca Jug or the rivalry against Ithaca that you guys would have an insider track on?
Something that we would know that fans don't. Let's see. I'd say that way back in the past, it didn't used to be like this. It didn't used to be like Cortland dominating the Jugs. It used to actually be the other way around. And that's why we're so proud to have the Jugs for so long, is because not many Cortland teams have been able to do this, have been able to have such long-lasting success against Ithaca, and we're excited to keep that streak going.
Oh, right. I think that's very true, and I think I agree that a lot of people don't realize that Ithaca did dominate it for a little while there.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
But 6 in a row for you guys, trying to make it 7.
Yes, sir. 7 in a row.
Last home Cortaca Jug game in 2014. Josh was on the field, and we've heard stories from John Mannix and Luke Hinton about that game. I want to hear your perspective on what happened on that final play.
Oh, man, for me, I mean, my sophomore year, I didn't really play all that much. I played a bunch of special teams, stuff like that. And I can only imagine what it was like for Josh to be on the field and all that. But I remember I'm just sitting on the sideline. I'm watching the game. I see Coach Matt call out the field goal unit. I'm looking around. I'm like, where's Luke? Where is Luke? And I'm going nuts. We're all trying to find Luke. Luke runs out to the field, and then I guess the rest is history. It was just an amazing play. Amazing from one of the only kids on our team that could have done it. Those two, it's funny how things work out.
All right, one more serious question, and then we'll get into some fun questions. What is the biggest key to Cortland coming away with a victory?
Just play our brand of football. What it comes down to is that we need to play our game. The game's all just like every other game. It's all about us. We preach that on a daily basis. It's all about us. It's about what we do. It's not about anything they do. It's about how well we execute our game plan and our success.
So you're a big part of the Cortland defensive line. Now, on the defensive line, do you ever do anything to intimidate the guys on the offensive line and try and get past them?
Do anything to intimidate?
Yeah, crazy eyes, say anything?
Well, you shouldn't be surprised that a 6'2", 220-pound D lineman isn't very intimidating. But I don't know. I do a couple things here and there. Nothing that would scare any big dudes, but back down some people.
We were talking with some of the other guys that we've interviewed about Madden. Now, Carson said he doesn't play a lot of Madden, but Josh did, and he proclaimed himself as the best Madden player on the football team. Do you agree with that, or do you want to contest that?
I don't know how many times I could disagree with that because I play the kid every single Friday, and I school the kid every single ask you to come on the air.
You're breaking up a little bit, but I gather that you're a better Madden player than Josh. A couple other quick questions to get to know you a little better. Pre-game music before the game this week.
Pre-game music. I actually have like a little. I guess this kind of goes with my ritual a little bit. So I start off with a little like old school Biggie stuff like that, old school rap, and then about 30 minutes before the game, before we wrap for warm-ups, I'll start listening to actually like a Linkin Park. So I'm gonna get the juices flowing a little bit.
Who's the funniest guy on the football team?
Funniest guy on the football team. Wow, I think I'd give it to my man Lucky to get a walk down for us. He's a riot. He's hysterical. All the kids love him. It's awesome.
What color Gatorade is your favorite?
Color Gatorade. My favorite Gatorade is the Grape Rain. Grape Rain. Love it.
I like that. I like the light purple, the Riptide Rush, but that's a good choice. Do you drink Gatorade or water on the field?
On the field, I drink whatever's in front of me. I don't really care too much as long as it's something.
Any superstitions that you go through every game?
Superstitions before a game.
Or during the game?
Oh, during the game? I always have to be up. I can't sit down. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm always standing. I can't just sit there and watch.